The first scene introduces the character Thor. He is seen as a demon's prisoner. He glimpses a fire demon named Surtur in front of him. He calls him Odin's son, coming to him. He tells Odin is not at the place of Asgard, and this place will not remain for a long time. As Ragnarok predicted, this kingdom will die soon. And he says, "It is my crown and the source of my power." A flying hammer attracts to his hand as he opens it in the air, which frees him after breaking his shackles. Thor begins to kill the demon's animal-like army with the iron-made hammer. And he also fights with demons. Demon attacks him, throwing the fire, but Thor is survived. Even he takes off the demon's crown and leaves, setting it on his shoulders. It is obvious that he defeats Fire Demon. While fighting with this strange army, Thor sends a message to a new character named Scourge. He is a member of this army. Taking his sword, he puts it into the located sword place. It opens a Bifrost bridge which is between Asgard and Earth. And Thor reaches Scourge while flying. Then he asks about Heimdall, who is the protector of Bifrost Bridge. Scourge calls him a traitor. He says Heimdall was a traitor. He had not fulfilled Odin's command. Showing the negligence in his duty, he had disappeared before the trial. Afterward, Thor flies to Asgard, twisting his hammer. He moves while flying over the building. He observes a statue with the spread hands there. He witnesses that many spectators are watching a play performance. Thor calls an old man, father. He is his adopted brother named Loki, disguising his father. Thor asks him to lock the fire demon's skull in the vault after showing it, so it may not destroy this planet. Taking the form of a giant, he throws his hammer in the air saying no one can stop it. He places his hand on the nape of Loki. In fact, Thor recognizes his brother Loki, who is disguised as his father. Moving aside, Loki returns to his real form as hammer returns back towards Loki's face. Everyone is taken aback. Thor inquires of Loki, where is his father Odin? Thor irritates Loki. He says, everything was better before your arrival, but you have destroyed everything. Then Thor moves towards him in a threatening way. He asks, have you killed the father? He placed his hammer on him after pushing him. As a result, Loki begins to tell about Odin. In the next scene, Loki and Thor are in New York City wearing the local dresses. They reaches there at the constructional area. Suddenly the fire ignited in a circle around Loki. Pulling towards Earth, he is disappeared. Thor glimpses a note there with a written address 177A, Bleakersund. Reaching this address, he knocks at the door, but he goes inside mysteriously. He observes a flying man who comes to him and calls, Honor of Thunder. Thor asks, are there also magicians on the Earth? That person replies that it is better to call Master of Mystic Art. Afterward, that person says, I have heard about the aliens. They are a threat to Earth. One of them is Loki, who is your adopted brother. Why have you brought him here? Thor tells, I am searching for my father. That person asks, will you and your parties return to Asgard if I reveal about your father? Thor agrees on it. He tells Odin is in Norway. Thor demands that person to bring back his brother, and he brings Loki back mysteriously. Then they also mysteriously reach an open area. Odin is also there in that open area, who is blind and the father of Thor and Loki. He says to Thor and Loki, my sons, I was waiting for you. You know, your mother calls me. I am dying. Thor tells I have stopped Ragnarok, killing Fire Demon. Odin informs, no, she is still coming towards us. And my time has arrived. Thor asks, whom are you talking about? Odin calls a name on it, Hela. He reveals she is the honor of death. She is my first daughter and your sister. Being a violent-natured, she is not under my control. I imprisoned her because I could not stop her. Then he informs them that Hela has taken Asgard's power. When he reaches Asgard, her power will be limitless. Thor asks, can we stop her getting together? Odin says you will have to face her alone. Saying it, Odin is converted into golden light and disappears going over the water. He is dead. Afterward, Thor is much worried and his hands emit the thunder light. Suddenly, a green light appears in the front and a girl named Hela comes from there, who is the honor of death according to the myth. Upon arriving, she commands Loki and Thor to kneel before her. She says, I am your queen. Thor responds on it, I cannot even think to kneel down before you. In this way, he throws his hammer towards the face of Hela. But Hela stops it with a hand and breaks it into small pieces. Thor has lost his hammer. With a light blast, Hela's appearance is changed as horns appear on her head and weapons in her hands. Looking upward, Loki calls saying, bring us back. Loki is afraid of Hela. Suddenly, Thor and Loki move upward by Bifrost Bridge while flying. But Hela drops Loki down, pursuing them. She also fights Thor and makes him fall. After some time, she enters an area where Scourge is present and the Bifrost walkway path has been decided to open. She means going there, uses her guns, and kills the army. Scourge, but on the other hand, needs to submit to her. Hela responds on it, going to say, "You have an intuition to be alive. You appear to be smart." Thor is also fallen there and many things are also dropping down from the sky after a breakage. He is beside the water. Following that, aliens emerge from the approaching spaceship and attack him. Thor opens his hand in the air to catch the hammer magically, but he remembers that the hammer has been broken by Hela. Using his power, he starts fighting with them. The aliens possess weapons capable of ensnaring Thor, and he is chained with an iron net. Getting together, all begin to beat him. Then one more spaceship-like cannon stops there. A girl comes outside from it. She kills all aliens while attacking them from her spaceship. After this, knocking Thor out with a disc, she takes him to a place after putting him in the spaceship. It is a new planet surrounded by cosmic gates. The leader of this place is the Grandmaster. He arranges a contest here. Thor is bound with a chair as he restores his senses. Actually, that girl sells Thor as a soldier to that Grandmaster in the amount of 10 million. Grandmaster introduces himself to Thor. He tells a preside in the contest of champion. People participate in it reluctantly, coming from remote areas. And you are also a part of it. Thor says, "I am not acting as such but returning to Asgard." Thor observes Loki there but he refuses to recognize him before Grandmaster. But Thor reveals to Grandmaster that he is my sibling. Grandmaster says, "You call yourself owner of thunder. Here is a deal for you if you want to return to Asgard. Defeating my champion, the fighter can get freedom." Thor asks loudly, "In which direction will I be moved?" Grandmaster makes him locked at a place. There is already a Rock-made man. Rock-made man reveals every fighter meets his end while fighting with Grandmaster's champion. Because he is a very threatening champion. Even Hela is in Asgard and introduces herself before the army. She says, "I am Hela, the commander of Asgard, the first daughter of Odin and the rightful heir to the throne. And I am the owner of death." She commands the army to kneel down. She tells, "My father is no more. We were once the owner of a powerful seat in this world. No one was there to challenge our power. To rule over others was our destiny. I am here to regain this power." Then a man appears from the army saying, "You will have to surrender. It does not matter who are you. Otherwise, we will not show pity for you." Being infuriated, Hela transforms her into a real form with horns. And that man advances to fight with her, taking his weapon. But Hela ends his entire army. She also ends that man. The dead bodies are everywhere. Coming there, Scourge is worried as he witnesses it. Hela says, "Alas, poor soldiers met their end with no cause. They were unable to predict." Then Hela takes Scourge to show her palace. There are some paintings, and she asks to have a view of the ceiling painting. "Look at this lie," and she damages all paintings. She says, "We are unstoppable. I am their weapon that built the empire of Asgard." And she says, "Each empire came in our possession one by one. My lust for power increased, and Odin expelled me from here. He imprisoned me, taking me like an animal." Then Hela moves to eternal flame. She puts the fire in her hand, and digging a hole into that floor with her axe, she jumps there where the dead soldiers' skeletons have been put. Going to the skeletons, she says, "You will be resurrected with the eternal flame, and all come into life." And she also gives life to a giant black wolf. After this, Hela sits on the throne and Scourge leads her army. Hela asks Scourge, "What is your wish?" Then Scourge replies, "I just need a chance to approve myself." Hela tells, "Being young, I used to execute the people. Afterward, she tells me, my work was not only to execute the people but also their vision. Then I became the executioner of Odin. And you may be my executioner. Let's start our victory." Hela and Scourge go to that place of the Sword of Bifrost Bridge. But the sword is missing there. It has been stolen. Hela tells this sword is the key to open Bifrost Bridge. Heimdall, who is protecting Asgardians, thieves that key, so that he may protect Asgardians. On the other side, Thor is struggling to escape from that planet, as the stone-made man took Thor to a place which is full of weapons. He asks him to take one of them. Thor says, "Would that I could have my hammer." While revolving, it used to create a flying ability and took me with it. Afterwards, Thor knows that a girl who brought him here is Valkyrie. It means she was one of the Asgard females warriors who was here. He asks for help from her, but she leaves saying bye. After this, the champion contest begins. Grandmaster appears, and he says, I am your host in this show. A large audience comes there and spectators also applaud. And the door opens from upward and Thor, owner of Thunder, also arrives there and all welcome him. After a time, his competitor Hulk comes on the scene, whose color is green. He is bigger than Thor. Thor exclaims with joy, yes, while looking at him. Because he is Thor's friend Banner, Hulk attacks Thor dangerously. He is punching on his face continuously. Visualizing his father, Thor emits a thunder light and throws Hulk with his full strength far away. Grandmaster struck him out with the disc just as he is about to win. When Thor awakes in the next scene, he finds Hulk with him. He tries to explain that he reached here in a Quinjet space capsule. Then Thor tells him, Asgard requires me to. It is also my homeland. It will be demolished if I do not protect it. Thor drops to his knees as he makes it look out the window. He envisions Heimdall. Thor asks, you can see me, I need your help. His eyes are turned into orange color as Thor opens his eyes. Heimdall is in front of him. He says, I can see you but you are too far. He tells while passing Asgardians that I'm awarding them our forefathers' place. After this, Thor talks to Hulk after opening his eyes. Thor also asks for help from Valkyrie, who has brought him here. Afterward, being a unit, we will face them while saving Asgard. But Valkyrie forbids helping him and says, if she will kill everyone in the palace if she was not under control Odin. And she needs it for the throne. But Thor says, I am not doing it for crown but for saving the lives of people who are dying. Breaking the window glass and jumping over the different buildings, Thor tries to get the spaceship. He goes inside the Quinjet spaceship after searching for it. A recording of a girl plays there. Hulk also arrives there. Hearing the recording of that girl, Hulk is transformed into a human being Banner. On the other side, Grandmaster becomes furious and he sends Loki and Valkyrie to take Thor. According to him, he has stolen his champion. Loki and Valkyrie leave, taking the order of Grandmaster. Valkyrie agrees to help Thor later, seizing him. Valkyrie tells the exit is through the wormhole. A spaceship is required for Thor to escape from here, so he steals Grandmaster's spaceship. Loki tells him, I know the security codes of Grandmaster. But Loki cannot be trusted enough, because he has been deceived many times according to Thor. Contrarily, Scourge talks with all Asgardians. He asks who has thieved the Bifrost Bridge. Hela is also there, and a giant black wolf is seated behind her who has been revived by her. Then she gesticulates at a girl who is fallen down after taking her. That girl weeps. Then Hela orders Scourge to take her life. She does it only to scare the people, so anyone may reveal the truth about that sword. Meanwhile, a boy appears and says, I know that, where is the sword? Afterward, it is revealed that Heimdall has thieved the sword to save the people. Then Hela moves to that place with Scourge where Heimdall has hidden everyone. But Heimdall had already taken Asgardian to a bridge. At the same time, Thor, his friend Banner and Valkyrie arrive there. They reach there by spaceship. Wearing a local dress, Valkyrie prepares the weapons for the fight. While Thor holds the seat of his throne, he hits his stick on the floor violently. Hearing it, Hela arrives there with Scourge. Hela asks, are you alive? I drowned the whole civilization into blood and tears. One day, Odin wanted to be a kind-hearted king to protect the lives and spread the peace. Thor says, I know you are furious and my sister. And you are an evil. Hela becomes aggressive on it. She says, leave the throne, you are on my seat. Then Thor says, once father advises that a wise king never wishes for a war. Hela says, but he is always ready to fight. The fight begins between Thor and Hela. Hela assaults him and leaves him one-eyed, resulting in Thor now having a single eye. Heimdall brings all Asgardian on the Bifrost Bridge, which is between Asgard and Earth. But Hela's black big wolf also arrives there. It begins to attack them. Meanwhile, Hulk, who was now a human being, again transforms himself into a giant man, and he attacks the wolf. On the other side, Valkyrie is attaching it by spaceship. Scourge with his army also attacks Heimdall. He says, returns the sword. Stone-made man also arrives there who has befriended Thor and wants to help Asgardian. After a time, a voice is heard, I am your savior and I have come to rescue you. He is Loki when all look at him. He asks everyone to board in the spaceship. Loki helps Thor to save Asgard. Now Thor is entangling with Hela. Suddenly, he visualizes his father Odin while closing his eyes. His father talks to him. He says, "You could see the half-fact even you had both eyes." Thor says, "I cannot do anything without hammer." Odin tells hammer was not the source of your strength. It was only a thing with which you could only focus. You are more powerful than it. Saying it, Odin disappears from his vision. It was happening in the imaginations of Thor. Then Hela asks, "Whose proprietor are you?" Thor's hands and body emit a roaring light, and the construction begins to fall off from each other. And the natural light also falls out of the sky. Thor then starts to eradicate Hela and her armed forces. And Hulk fights with the wolf and drowns it into the water. Loki and Valkyrie are also fighting. Being alive, Hela returns. Thor says, "We will have to stop Hela." Then Thor remembers the fire demon crown which is in the vault. He tells Loki, there is only a way to put Hela to death. He asks Loki to bring the crown. Afterward, Loki runs towards it. On the opposite side, Heimdall is boarding Asgardians into the spaceship, so that their lives may be rescued. Otherwise, Scourge is also turned into virtuous, and he sacrifices his life to protect them. And Loki places the crown in the eternal flame so that Surtur can resurrect. In this way, demon fire is revived. Thor says to Hela, "It will defeat you." Hela is confused. All Asgardians, Hulk, Valkyrie, and Thor are now safe aboard the spaceship. While there is a fight in Asgard between Hela and the fire demon, Hela attacks the fire demon. Spreading fire everywhere, the fire demon destroys Asgard. It is destroyed to the backbone and Hela is also dead. Then Thor witnesses his blind eye in the looking glass. He had become one-eyed. He says to Loki while looking at him, "You are not enough unacceptable." Finally, it is revealed that Thor has become the king of Asgard.